Hi, I'm Christina and welcome to the start of another weekly reading vlog. So this week I'm reading a thriller and that is Invisible Girl by Lisa Jewell. So this is my first ever Lisa Jewell book. She's an incredibly popular thriller author and I've yet to read anything by her, so I thought I'm going to start with her most recent novel. And I've been reading this over the course of 2 days so far and I've read 204 pages, so I'm about halfway through this. And we've been introduced to 3 different perspectives so far. So the first perspective is a girl called Sapphire, and she is a 17-year-old teenager. And she had a horrible incident happen to her when she was 10 years old. And because of this, she started to self-harm. And then because of that, she started to see a psychologist. So the next perspective we see is Kate. And Kate's husband is Sapphire's psychologist. So we're seeing the wife of the psychologist, and she is a 50-year-old woman. She's pretty much a stay-at-home mum now. She has 2 children, both teenagers, 1 son and 1 daughter. And then the third perspective we're seeing is a man called Owen. So Owen is the neighbour to Kate. He lives across the road from Kate and her psychologist husband, and he is a man who is a kind of IT teacher at a local college, and he has been involved in a sexual harassment kind of case at work. So he is currently suspended from his job. And that's basically kind of the setup. They're the main characters that we follow. And I have to say that I really don't like the character of Owen. He's not a nice guy. He doesn't view women in a very nice way. He's a misogynist. Let's just come right out and say it. And the way he kind of interacts with teenage girls isn't good. And he's kind of interested in that kind of side of the internet where he's going into kind of forums with people, and just the way he views women isn't very nice. And because of that, I was actually going to DNF this book. I was thinking, I don't really like it. I really don't like this character. And I didn't like it. And I thought, maybe I should just put it down. But saying that, I really like the character of Sapphire, the 17-year-old, and I'm interested to see where that part of the story goes. And obviously, I don't think we are meant to like the character of Owen. He might have a bit of a redemption arc, I don't know. But I was very close to just going, you know what, I don't think I want to read this anymore. But considering it's the first book I've read by her, I'm going to give it a bit more of a shot and just kind of see where it goes. But honestly, I'm not enjoying it very much at all. And for a thriller, I don't think it is particularly thrilling, which is a shame because I've heard lots of people say they really enjoyed this book. And I was just reading it going, oh, it's a bit of a slog to get through this. So I might regret not DNFing this one. But considering it's my first foray into the world of Lisa Jewell, I thought I'm going to give it a little bit longer. I've got to read the whole book. I've got to give it a good shot and see what I think of it. So I will be reading a little bit more of this, maybe over the course of a couple of days, and I will let you know my thoughts. But as I say, as of this moment, not a massive fan of it. Hi, so I've started a new book, which is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky. Now, this is a science fiction book, and I'm buddy reading this one with Chloe, who I will link down below so you can go and check her out. And I'm really enjoying this one so far. I know that it's definitely a character-driven story, and that is 100% correct. This is set in space on the ship called the Wayfarer, and we're following the main character of Rosemary, and she is the newest team member on this ship. This is her brand new job, first job outside of university, and she's joining the ship as a clerk. And then we're starting to meet all the other characters who live and work aboard this ship. And there's a lot of characters. It's quite a big cast, a big crew, I would say. And you're just kind of meeting them all individually, and they're all different species, kind of different aliens. It's quite interesting to learn about the world that Becky Chambers has built. She has really put a lot of effort into describing the species and then describing their cultures and their histories, and it's really, really interesting, and I'm really enjoying that aspect of it. So we also have the captain, who is called Ashby. You have two people who are like technicians. They're called Kizzy and Jenks. And then you have a navigator, and they're called Ohan. And then you also have like a reptile person who is called Sissix. So I think that's everyone. Oh, there's one more person, Corbin, who is a human, and he's the algaeist, which is quite interesting because basically the fuel you use is algae, which is quite cool. And their kind of aim, the point of their ship, is to do tunneling. They're a tunneling ship. So basically they're the ones that create tunnels between different parts of space. If that makes any sense, like going between black holes, so you can have like one part of the galaxy connected to another part of the galaxy. It's quite science fiction heavy, actually. That is one thing I will say. She definitely drops in a lot of quite heavy sci-fi, but I'm quite new to science fiction, so maybe if you're more of a, pro at science fiction reading, it wouldn't be as heavy for you. And you do kind of have to take that on board and think you are reading things that she doesn't always explain. So she might kind of drop in like a species of an alien or some kind of word, and you don't actually know what it means, and you just got to go with it. I don't think there's a glossary. I didn't see one. No, you just kind of have to understand that you might not 100% understand. So I really like our main character of Rosemary. I think she has a lot more backstory which we've yet to uncover yet. All we really know about her is that she is from Mars. She's lived a very sheltered life. She's come from a very kind of wealthy family, and she's never been into space before. She's always lived planet side. So this is a massive new experience for her. And I think the other kind of aliens, people, all the other races would consider her very sheltered. So that's really interesting. Another thing that's interesting is they have AIs too who are sentient. So the ship has an AI called Lovey, and that's interesting. And I think there's a little bit of a love story with one of the humans, which I think is massively frowned upon, but it's a really kind of interesting concept that I think she's kind of like dive into. And yeah, I think that's really good. And basically they've just taken on this massive job, which is going to bring in a hell of a lot of money, and it's going to kind of push them forward into bigger and better things, and it will kind of give them an opportunity to do much bigger, more expensive, more lucrative jobs. So yeah, I'm really liking it. I'm looking forward to seeing where it's going to go. I know this is the start of a series, so I'm hoping I'm going to enjoy it enough that I want to obviously continue the series. I know that she's definitely a booktube darling, Becky Chambers, and I can see why so far. It's really like nice to read. I read like a decent chunk of it, and everyone's just really nice, and it's really lovely. And yeah, you can get yourself quite sucked into these characters in this world. So yes, I'm looking forward to carrying on with this one. I haven't read any more of Invisible Girl because I wasn't really enjoying it, and I just wanted to read this one instead. But I think I will probably carry on with it. We will see. I'm kind of like half and half, 50-50. Should I DNF it or should I finish it? So I will have to think about that. Hi, so I have had my hair cut and it's been so many months since you can go to the salon in Britain that I thought I'm going to try something just a little bit different. So I've gone for curtain bangs, which as you can see is a completely different look for me, and yeah, I quite like it. It's something different and I've got lots of different layers at the front too, so that's quite exciting. It's strange though having something near your eyes. I haven't had a fringe for about 15 years, so it's all it's all new and in my eyes. In terms of the book I'm reading, The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, I've read another 50 pages of this and I'm enjoying it so far. There isn't really much more I can say because obviously I don't want to ruin any of the plot or anything like that. But one thing I will say that I'm really liking is that kind of little section that Chloe and I just read. She really focused on talking about the history of one of the species, and I found that really, really interesting, the way that she has such a great backstory to all of these characters. It's one thing to, you know, have a lot of characters and have a lot of world building, but yeah, she's really written in a lot of history to the species, and I'm just finding that really, really interesting. And yeah, I'm enjoying it so far, and she's making lots of parallels between these species and humans as well, which I'm finding very interesting. So yeah, I'm about halfway through now and it's good. I'm looking forward to seeing where it's gonna go. And I haven't read any more of Invisible Girl. I wasn't really enjoying it, so yeah. So I have a check-in on The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. I have nearly finished this one. There's just a tiny little bit left. And I'm enjoying this one. I can't really say what's happening because of the plot, but there's been a few things that have surprised me that I really enjoyed where they were going. There's a little bit of a romantic relationship going on. There was something that's quite surprising that's happened that I didn't see coming. So yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing this one and just seeing how it's going to end. See if it's going to be maybe a cliffhanger for the second book in the series. And yeah, just looking forward to finishing this one now. I only have a little tiny bit left. And then in terms of the other book I'm reading, Invisible Girl, I am officially DNFing this one now. I've been going back and forth on it and I'm just thinking I've read literally half of the book, 200 and odd pages out of a 400 page book. So I've given it a really good shot, over 50% read, and I don't want to read it anymore. There's so many more books on my TBR that I'm much more interested in reading, and I just don't really care. The only reason I wanted to carry on was for the character of Sapphire, because I was interested in her, but otherwise not really. So I think that's it. I'm just gonna put this one down. I'm not going to read it, and I'm just going to finish off this one, and then that will be it. I am going to start a new book after that, and I'm planning to read, I think I'm going to read a contemporary next, because that one was a science fiction. So yes, just going to read the last little bit of this, and then I will give you my final thoughts. Hi, so I finished The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet and I enjoyed this one. I'm going to give it 3 stars, but for me there was just something missing. I kind of lacked that emotional connection to the characters, and there was just something missing that I can't quite put my finger on. I just didn't really feel it was a particularly impactful book for me, or a powerful book in any way. I think it kind of read quite average, quite run-of-the-mill. I think the strength of this book for me really lies in its big cast of characters and the world building that she does. So the history of all the different species, I really enjoyed that. I think that's why I'm giving it 3 stars rather than anything less. But otherwise, yeah, it's not going to be anything memorable for me down the line. I think I probably will continue on with the series. I'm saying probably because I'm not 100% sure. If I see the second book in like a charity shop or in a secondhand bookstore and it's a reasonable price, I might pick it up. But otherwise, I probably won't. And if I do, I don't think I'll be reading it anytime soon either. I have about 3 or 4 series on the go at the moment, and I haven't actually gone back to any of them recently. I'm much more enjoying standalones at the moment. But yeah, I might carry on. If you have read this whole series, let me know. Would you carry on if you kind of felt like me after the first book? does it get maybe more interesting or more exciting or more high stakes, or do the relationships of the characters, do they get, you know, am I going to be more invested? Is it going to be worth me carrying on? Let me know. But otherwise, yeah, I'm probably going to put this down for now and not rejoin the series anytime soon. But I think one good thing about it is this is a standalone book in the sense that you can read it as one book and it's a self-contained story. You're not left on this massive cliffhanger and you don't know what's going to happen. It does stand by itself, which I appreciate. So yeah, I think I'm going to wrap up the vlog here. I'm a little bit disappointed by this one. It is so popular on BookTube. It is just a massive BookTube darling. I think I was expecting a little bit more. It is incredibly hyped. So that might have affected it a little bit because it's meant to be so well loved. And for me, it's good book, but nothing special. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap up the vlog here. So thank you so much for watching. Please do like the video if you liked it, and please do subscribe if you'd like to see more of me talking about books. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!